Have you ever heard of the comparison trap? Comparisons are the evaluations or judgments you make on the world around you, especially the people around you, in view of yourself. And usually we do it to feel better about ourselves. But it's a trap. We live in a world where we're always looking around and trying to figure out, how am I doing? Am I acceptable? Do I measure up? Basically, what we're all wanting, is just a little thing. Actually, two little things, two little letters. Just two letters attached to us and our stuff. And these tiny two letters make all the difference in the world. And they are the letters E-R, as in better, cooler, classier, faster, finer, fitter, fancier, funnier, happier, healthier, handier, hipper, prettier, richer. All than you. But the good news is, God never compares us to anyone else. We are loved. We are loved. We are loved perfectly. So we don't need to compare ourselves to anyone else. In our first reading today, we face something similar. We enter into the blame game. Did you notice what happened in that first reading from Genesis? God is walking through the garden. He calls out for Adam for their nightly chat. But Adam is hiding. He's naked. God knows that our first parents had taken what was not theirs. And now they hide in shame and embarrassment. And when God confronts them, Adam blames it on Eve. It was the woman you left me with. God then turns to Eve. She blames it on the serpent. He tricked me. Notice, neither own their mistake, their sin. They want to blame someone else. Not much has changed in our world today, has it? We see that same blame game in today's gospel. Jesus is doing amazing things. Lives are being changed. People experience the love of God without comparison, without blame. But those in charge don't like it. They blame Jesus and say that he's possessed by the devil. Instead of allowing God's love to transform their lives, they blame. They distance themselves from God. Isn't it easy to enter into the blame game? It's his fault. It's hers. If only I had more money. If only. It's not my fault. I remember when I was young, there was a cartoon in the local newspaper called Family Circus. And one week, my mom cut one of the panels out and posted it on the refrigerator. It had the mythical and invisible character, not me. Who left the milk out? Not me. Who forgot to feed the dogs? Not me. An extension of the blame game. It's not me, it's someone else. But again, Jesus reminds us that we don't need to blame anyone or anything. He invites us to take responsibility for our own actions, to own up. And once we do, he reminds us that we are always and have always and are still loved. Nothing we do or don't do will ever change that. The fact that we are loved, we are loved, we are loved. Or to put it the other way, you are loved. You are loved. You are loved. Tonight, it is good that we are here. Tonight we celebrate with Father Bob Grosch But we also have other priests here who celebrate anniversaries. Father Panessa also is celebrating his 50th anniversary as a priest. It is good that we are here. We think about the ministry that God gives us in the church, in our priests and deacons. Just really almost a full year now being your bishop. I'm almost a full year also as your coadjutor bishop. Got to do some things I've never thought I would do. And celebrating and honoring these anniversaries tonight is one of those. I mostly know Father Grosch as a canon lawyer. I too have a degree in canon law. It's the church's law system. And often when people hear about canon law, most want to run in the opposite direction. They can't think of anything that might be more dull, boring, or dry. Or they see it as rigid, condemning sets of rules. But that's not, in my experience, of how Father Grosch sees canon law. He truly sees it as a means to share God's mercy and God's love. A personal encounter with a loving God who wants each of us to be who God has created us to be, to know that we are loved. In his many years as a judicial vicar for the diocese, Father Grosch has helped hurting couples find healing after a failed marriage. He has helped them move beyond the blame game and experience true healing. So I was thinking about this. Of course, I didn't think about it soon enough, but I was here in the sanctuary and just thinking of the many years of the priests that are gathered here tonight and our deacons gathered here tonight of clerical service. Just one ministry of the church. We all are called to be ministers in this church. But tonight, we do take the moment to pause. And we do celebrate and honor with Father Grosch and Father Panessa their 50 years. As I was thinking about that, I wondered how many baptisms they celebrated, how many funerals, how many weddings. We could track those if we wanted to by going through parish records. But then I thought, this would be impossible to calculate. How many times he shared the body of Christ with the people of God. How many times they have said the blood of Christ to the people of God. How many times Christ's light and love has been shared with someone in need. Just thinking of all the people that they have connected with. All of the people that they have truly shown Christ's love, truly lived the message of gospel. Who are my mother, my brothers, my sisters? The ones who do the will of God, who share my love. Think about that. Let me share an image that may help. Think if Father Grosch had a ball of yarn. It would need to be a big ball of yarn, but if he held on to one end, the free end, and threw the ball to someone he administered to, then that person threw it to someone else he administered to, and so on, and so on, and so on. For 50 years, imagine the tapestry that would be formed, the tapestry that connects each and every one of us. Father Grosch, but then to Christ ultimately. A tapestry of ministry, a tapestry of love, a tapestry of service. And I thought, well, with that tapestry, let's just look around this church right now. So go ahead. I know it's awkward to do, but go ahead, look around at the faces gathered here. I can assure you that in some way, Father Grosch has touched each and every person here. Father Panessa, everyone else gathered here in some way, because we are connected to Christ. It's an amazing thing. I'm going to do a little audible from my homily here. Always a dangerous thing to do. But I was also struck by the second reading today, especially as we see Father Grosch in the wheelchair. Do not be discouraged. Although our outer self may be wasting away, our inner self is being renewed day by day. For this momentary light affliction is producing for us an eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison, as we look to not what is seen, but what is unseen. For what is seen is transitory, but what is seen is eternal. As we gather today, even though we can't really physically see all of the connections, all of the blessings that unite us as one, as a family of faith, as the people of God, we know those are eternal. And we pause, and we honor, and we celebrate this ministry, this priestly ministry that God has given to the church and to each one of us. And it is good that we are here.